Model Railroads and Structures Show is brought to you by Helicon Focus. Helicon Focus makes photo stacking easy, while making post-editing just plain simple. Get your 20% off a lifetime membership by going to modelersguild.com/HF. And we thank Helicon Focus for their support of the Model Railroads and Structures Show. And by Long Shadows Model Trees, where all the trees are handmade one at a time to make your layout look real. Don't want 100 trees that look all alike? Contact Bob and he'll make the kind of trees you are looking for. To get your own long shadow model trees, just go to modelersguild.com/LSMT. And we thank Bob for his support of the MR&S show. And finally, by fans like you, Model Railroads and Structures Show is fan-funded through patreon.com. To become a patron, just go to patreon.com/Ron Perry or modelersguild.com/RP. Hello and welcome to the Model Railroads and Structures Show. The Model Railroads and Structures Show is the show to see people build models, pull out their tools, talk about what they use, the products they use, how to use them, and show you what they do while they're using them. So this show's all about getting people on and talking about the kits that we're building and stuff like that. And before I get any guests on today, what I wanted to do was to talk about a Craftsman kit that I want to build on the show. Is the Sierra West scale models, the shipyard at Foss Landing. Anybody who's watched my prior videos will know that I built Foss Landing. I built Foss Landing twice. I built it once for a client and then also built the second copy for myself. Okay, so let's get into this Craftsman kit to show what it's all about. I don't use any special products. I use off-the-shelf products. I don't generally use model railroading specific products. I use stuff that I have taken from my career as a carpenter. I was a driver for an Amish barn building crew. We built barns. Actually, my first experiences with big conversations about trains and stuff like that was with a group of Amish gentlemen. So that's my experience. My introduction into trains was working on a barn that was right beside the railroad tracks. And my comrades would drop on the roof of the barn. The train would go by, like 100+ cars, and these guys would drop their belts and count the trains, which was highly humorous for me to go through. They're not the first men-child that I've ever come across, but they are very a simple folk. Yet they taught a lot about life and religion and even money. Anyways, let's get back to the kit, shall we? What we got here is a spiral bound book so it can lay flat. So you could go through and do the step-by-step instructions all the way through to get this kit done. If we look at the last page, we'll see it's a 106-page manual. Hope that's on the camera. To build this kit. Not only that, we've got printed template sheets to make fencing. This is full size. You put your wood on there, tack it with some glue, and make a nice fence. No questions asked about sizes or measurements. Forget about the ruler. Just put it on the paper. And, you know, it's easy. You know, like, you know, many kits out there with their one-page manuals would tell you, okay, the fencing is about 1.25 inches tall, and you got to use, these boards, and, you know, they'll tell you how these measurements are. But the second you see it drawn out here, how these boards are all crooked right here, you know, a picture says 1,000 words, you know, and it, you know, 1,000 words would not fit in this spot. So it's an efficient way of telling people how to do something. Ladders as well. We've got 2 different styles of ladders here. One for something that's maybe homemade, and this one's probably for a permanent structure. Who knows? We'll find out in the instructions later on. Over here, we've got different parts. Oh, this is page B. It has nothing to do with it. Okay, so we've got the steam box. Part of making boats is to steam the boards so that when you nail them around the gussets, I believe. We'll find out that word later in the instructions too. But to bend those boards around the hull of the boat, you have to steam them so that they don't split along the grain. So steaming these boards, you can see how it's made on an angle. So the steam is put up. It steams all the way to the top, and up at the top it'll drip down and come down, and it's that's the system there, boys. You might have just learned something. Moving on, we've got the barge, derrick, and dock layout. We've got the these are dock templates. As we can see again, forget about the measurements on cutting your floor joists and floor boards. You know, all this stuff is basically here, and we take our, I like to use scalpels because I can get packs of them real cheap and they're super sharp. So you take my board and put it right on top and cut it to length. You turn that board around in circles so you don't have an angle while you cut, because usually when you cut a piece of wood, the angle on our razor will kind of cut out or cut in. But either way, you never really get a fair cut. So what I do is I cut, turn, cut, and then break it. So we've got templates. You know, there's 2 so far. Here we go, 3. This is the roof. It looks like the roof. Oh no, this is the main dock. You know how the rails come into the docks. You know, this is a serious kit. You know, this feature right here, how many times have you seen that? This is a legit wood dock, board on board. And we got to build the rail right into it. The boat. Now, what was the name of those things? I said gusset. Totally wrong. I don't see gusset around here anywhere. Well, it's not This Week in Boat History. Come on. So we got the keel. They teach you how to make the scaffolding to go along the ribs. Everything's here. Everything's here. And the great thing is that every kit in the world will tell you how to build this stuff. but they won't tell you how to weather it. Thanks to a gentleman named Brett Gallant who designed this kit, we've got opportunities to do something amazing. Now look at this. You ever built a sawmill? Well, if you're building a boat out of wood, there's got to be a spot to saw the logs. So on our diorama, we're going to have a saw table with rollers. The wood's going to run across the rollers. All these details are in the kit. There's no extra money involved except for your weathering, painting, and tools. It's all involved. So it's here. Move on. Roofing details. That's the last one. Put these templates together so I don't wreck them. If you watched our previous video, you'll know that after I build the kits, I like to sell the box so that I can recoup some of the money. And in this box, you're going to get this, basically. You know, you're going to get the templates and the instruction book. And that's going to be worth some money. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be worth some money. So I called Brett. Well, I never called. I emailed Brett Gallant about this kit. I said to Brett Gallant, I said, Brett, I want to do this kit on YouTube. Do you mind if I talk about your instructions, talk about your techniques? I don't want to do an audio book on your instructions, is what I mentioned to him. But I want to show people what's involved with these Craftsman kits and what they're missing out on. So he said, you know what? Thank you very much, Ron. I'm not reading from the email right now. I could, but I'm not. He said, thank you, Ron. You know, it's hard these days to really put out a technique and then watch somebody else use that technique in a clinic at a show and pretend like it is theirs. So I'm going to start this whole thing before I open this book, and I'm going to say to you guys right now that Ron Perry learned everything he learned by people like Brett Gallant, by people like Bob Van Gelder, by people like George Celios, Rail Scale Miniatures. The gentleman who runs Rail Scale Miniatures, they are the most unique kits, in my opinion, available today. His instructions come in a wire-bound book. I believe Rail Scale Miniatures takes all their kit, the template of making a kit is made through copying Sierra West and Fine Scale Miniatures and South River Model Works. These guys, they put a lot of effort into these techniques. They put a lot of effort into trying to teach people these techniques. And if you ever make a video online, please give credit to the person who taught you how to do it. You know, like when I first started all of this, I remember a gentleman named Norm Wolf commented to me about something that I did with sawdust. Now I was sitting on the front porch. I had a great big bag of sawdust in front of me. I had tons of dollar store acrylic paint, and I made my own ground foam out of that sawdust. Now I was sitting on the porch one day, you know, drinking a beer. I came up with that plan along with a whole bunch of stupid plans, you know. So, you know, it might have been the only good plan out of that day. The thing was I never got that technique out of a book, right? But after thinking about what Norm said to me in the comments after my little article on how to do ground foam, I thought to myself, well, I should probably give Dave Frary credit for coming up with that idea first, because I found out who came up with it first. There's no skin off my butt. I don't need to be known for sawdust scenery. Anyways, so Dave can have the sawdust scenery. No problem. Dave, you got it. And so the techniques I take out of these books are Brett Gallant's. And it's important that I say that, because Brett has techniques in this book that you'll never see in another kit. Let's start with the first technique. It's important. It's really important. Now he goes through tools, the first steps, like I'm going to skip this right now because that's getting into the kit building. This right here. No, this isn't it. It's right at the bottom here. Okay, this is where I read it. So I'm not going to read this verbatim to you. I just want to explain this paragraph. Like all of this book is, here's the goods right here. This is the goods. Now, when you paint something, what happens with the paint is that the layer of paint that is exposed to oxygen will dry. It'll dry in the way that the moisture will go away and it'll be dry to the touch. Now, if you took that finger of yours and pressed down and pushed up, you'd push the paint with it. So even though the paint is dry to the touch, the paint is not cured from top to bottom. You see, if I put the paint down and 24 hours later I push my finger down and push up, that paint's not going to push along with my finger. So if I was to paint something and it was dry to the touch, not cured, but dry to the touch, and then I put another paint on top of it, those two paints can combine. However, if I allowed the paint to cure so that if I pushed it, it would be dry, 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 when I paint on top of it, those paints are not going to mix. So, if I have a black piece of wood, and then I took some white paint on my brush, and then I painted it on top of a dry to the touch paint, it'll start going gray. However, if I waited for the black to cure, I could put on my white paint on top and you wouldn't see mixing, you would see brush strokes, which is a big difference. The brush strokes would show black underneath and you would see no gray at all. So as you can see in that example, there's a big difference between dry to the touch and cured all the way through. And that's the thing that Brett teaches you on this page. Pastels. He goes through all his methods for pastels. Now, he doesn't want you to just put color on this as you're weathering as color. Brett wants you to add texture to your model. Have you ever seen rust that kind of is so substantial that it pushes the paint? You know, you see paint that's bubbled. That's rust underneath, pushing the paint out of the way. You know, there's texture in rust. There's texture in dirt. There's texture in dust. Brett explains these things in a very thought-out way. You know, these are the things that Brett has really perfected over the 20 or 30 top quality kits that he's designed. We go through tools, texturing your wood. Again, I can't go through this book and read it out word for word for you, but these are the things that you get from spending the money on a Sierra West scale models kit. So like I said, maybe it might not today. I think this was a $350 kit. Could have been $400. It was worth every penny. I'm going to buy another one. Not another shipyard. If there's a client out there who wants this darn shipyard, email me, perry.ron@gmail.com. I'll build whatever you want. And if you want it on camera, we'll do that too. So, I think that's enough of that so that we don't have to plagiarize Brett's work. There's Brett Gallant of Sierra West Scale Models. Give him your money. He deserves it. If you want to learn how to be a top-notch modeler, Brett's going to teach you just as much as anybody else.
This week in Model Railroads and Structures Show was definitely not brought to you by Rinse Relics. Buy 5 kits and tell them, "He who must not be named sent you."
What do you get? Just a box of sticks to put together? Well, kind of. But kind of no, all at the same time. The manual is put together in parts. You got to build the dock. You've got to build the house or the structure. You've got to build the boat. You've got to build the sawmill. Each of these parts are put together in a bag which has a number on it. So that when you start working on a part of the model, once you're done the bag, you'll have a few extra parts that you can put in the box and use in other parts of the model. But it also makes it easier for weathering. You know, we can go through this bag and weather this whole bag 100%, and that could be about 2 or 3 nights work. You know, it's gluing these boards together is probably 1/3 of the work that you have to do to put this kit together. So we've got bags of sticks that apply to different portions of the kit construction. I got round piers. We've got laser cut wood pieces for the structure. We've got the boat. You know how other kits would probably expect you to start cutting out these ribs and stuff like that. This is a laser cut boat. And I'm going to cut this open. You look at these, I was just looking at it in the manual. The keel. We've got a thick particle board keel, and then we've got two detail pieces we got to laminate on each side, it looks like. I haven't looked at the instructions. I'm just guessing. But you can see the board detail on the laminate piece that goes on. Look at that detail. It's amazing. It's not so hard to believe that when you go to the narrow gauge convention or the Craftsman structure show, or these high-end competitions, it is usually a Sierra West scale model that's the first place prize or best in show. It is Brett Gallant's Sierra West scale models that has redefined the rules in some contests, because they just constantly win. People complain, you could basically buy yourself a win on a contest with one of these kits. And one person would say that, sure, that's probably because you get everything cut out for you and there's nothing scratch built. But I would say that everything is scratch built. And the reason why these kits win is because of the instruction manual I just threw on the floor, not the instructions in the box. Brett teaches you the patience. He tells you to stop, weather the boards, board by board. So. Showed the laser cut wood pieces. Well, there's parts of this structure that is board on board construction, like board siding. So in those situations, you've got card stock that he's laser cut out. Starting to run out of space here. You see the roofing materials. Most laser cut kits come with a card stock roofing materials. And it's nice to have it in card stock, like a serial board thickness. That way it's it's quite substantial. You put a little bit of wood bracing on the back and it's solid. So the kits go on and on and on. Now you might say to yourself, well, that's card. How's that going to be a nice kit? Well, that's what these are for. These get glued to the outside. You're building this structure, Jack. You're building it. So there's the roofing pieces here again. And it's just high quality from the get-go. Windows and doors are made on this nice card. Now, the thing I like about this as compared to a plastic window or door, plastic needs to be washed in soapy water because plastic has a release material from it being in its injection molded process, and they never clean that off. So if you use paints, sometimes you use spray paint on that stuff, it bubbles up, it flakes off. It's not the best of material to paint. It's the cheapest material for a company to sell an efficient, profitable product. However, Sierra West scale models doesn't care about the cheapness of plastic because they just, cardstock soaks in the paint. Cardstock will accept texture. Cardstock has a lot more abilities than plastic. So we can see we've got a full sheet of nice windows and doors and parts here that can be painted. with anything, and it doesn't need to be clean. Don't clean it. You'll wreck it. Roofing material, black card. Detail parts. We're going to wait for detail parts. So, and here's part of the barge derrick, which is a crane. So you build your own derrick crane. All the parts are in here. The rope, the chain, the brass rod. I'll bet you there's a base in the detail parts. Multimedia kit. The definition of a multimedia kit is that we've already got card and wood. We pulled out of the kit. We got cardstock windows. We got wood. We've got different sizes of copper and brass rod. Brass rod, copper rod. We got in this bag, we've got brass chain. We've got little detail parts here. We got rope. We've got standing seam steel siding for roofing. Got shingles here, laser cut shingles. Signs, all kinds of doodads in this box, in this bag here. This one's looks like a good one. This is where the goods are, boys. So yeah, there's that. I'm gonna put these back in the box so I don't lose them. It takes paint really well. Still needs to get the mold release washed off, but it takes paint really well. And as you can see, Brett really puts relief in between the bricks and stuff. You can actually put some scenery foam inside the cracks and stuff like that. You know, you go all out with this stuff. It's highly suggested you do go all out. Now, this is the last part of the kit that I want to share. So this is the coup de grace here, boys and girls. There's parts in this bag right here that'll blow your mind. When you get a bag of parts from any other Craftsman kit, it has three things in it. It's got tires. You've got wood barrels. You've got garbage cans of various sorts. And it's pretty much the same details in every kit. You know, you got your skid and all those three things I just stated. But when I look at this bag of parts right here, I'm going to put this aside. I see belt pulleys. I see gears. I see roller pads for the sawmill. I see the parts. There's the hacksaw for the sawmill. It looks like a steam powered hacksaw of some sort. Just a number of different things. You got the base to that derrick crane. Just a number of unique. A shovel. It's just a crazy amount of parts that you've always thought to yourself, these are the things that you just pretend like they're there, you know? These are the things that you really wish you had the money to get them. Here they are. It's all in the kit. And that's a whole bunch of parts there, man. You're not going to use them all in this kit. You're not going to use them all. I guarantee it. So that means that after you're done this kit and you're happy with it and the extra parts you got in this bag, you build up a big box of extra parts like I've got. And forever and ever, amen, after that, you've got some of the best parts to put into your dioramas. You go like, that pulley. I got that pulley. I can do a whole pulley system like Bob Boudreaux's machine shop. Okay, the chances of me successfully doing that build just like Bob, is very slim, but only because I don't have the instructions. So those are the white metal detail parts, or whatever you want to call them. So moving on, we've got a water tower for the roof of the building. Again, it's using this resin type of material. We've got probably a water pan of some sort, another retaining wall. This is a brick wall. Look at the relief in that brick. If you can't put mortar in between those brick lines there, you're doing something wrong. This is a skid, probably for our, what is this called? A donkey? I don't know what it is. I bet you this is it has a winch on it. This is probably a winch. You probably pull things up the tracks and stuff like that. More bricks. And then we've got a shelving unit, the bench, and oil tank, and then we've got our complementary wood barrels, garbage cans, and wood boxes. These are the details that make this kit. Holy smokes, look at that kit model. It's amazing. Like I could sit here in one night and I could paint this winch up. I believe it's a winch. I could paint this up, and I'd have a night of this. And I would enjoy it so much. It'd be worth every second of my time to sit there and rust it up, paint it gray, and then put rust on it and get texture in it, like Brett talks about in his manual. This is a full-fledged kit, and if model railroading was a high school class, it is my assertion, it is my opinion that if the teacher bought one of these kits to build over the year in front of the kids, it would be the best class. They'd be the best modelers ever. It's just something that really changed my modeling career, biting the bullet and buying a kit that I couldn't afford. I was lucky. I got my first kit paid for, but after you build your first one, you're hooked.
What up, y'all? You looking for some landscaping for your layout? Well, you better do like old Early and get you some of these fine long shadows trees from longshadowstrees.com. You tell them old Early sent you. Here.
Okay, so let's try to get a couple of people in here. Let's see if Sven wants to come in. My friend Sven. And we got about 15 people out in the crowd. That's pretty cool, huh? I love it. So I put an invitation out to Sven. I'm going to put an invitation out to my friend Edward. And we'll just invite a bunch of people in here. So if all you guys are on your Google Plus account, you would have gotten your invitation. So Sven, what happened this week?
I got some work done. At least I started turning something like this. Yeah, nice and shiny black trucks. and not real detailed underneath. Roof is green. There's a truck.
Oh, that looks good.
And this is only sandblasted, the black plastic.
Okay, to give it
And
texture.
then I added some powders and some flat clear coat.
Now, do you have a hobby sandblaster? Is that what you've got?
That little Badger sandblasting tool.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That looks like an airbrush, but isn't.
Mm-hmm.
With the little glass cup underneath. Yeah, it's basically like a single-action airbrush.
Very cool.
So, the roof is silver now and has a first dark gray wash.
Yeah. Looks really good.
And there's the rest of the car, or the beginning of its bad days.
Yeah.
So again, the BN logo is faded with this sandblasting tool.
Oh, I see. I've got a burnishing tool for that. But I haven't used it yet. I got one of these for that. You can see that.
So Ben, what do you use for the abrasive?
It came with a bottle of aluminum oxide.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Because
And that works.
I'm sorry, I was going to say some of the guys use baking powder
Yeah.
for like you can fade decals. You can just take the top surface off. But the reason I'm asked, I got one of those which I've only used one time.
That looked really good. Are you using a wash to lighten the green?
Yes, I want to try to mix a fade mix. So I've applied a few. Well, actually, it's only one decal. Yeah, one part is sitting here. The other part is sitting right here. And that's already slightly faded. And a little bit, damaged. So it isn't that vibrant anymore. And I tried the first pin wash application around the doors and along the door tracks, getting it a little bit darker. So the next step would be the roof. I think I'll use some brown Vallejo paints, give it one coat or a thin mist of this brown, and then continue with some brown chalks. And for the fade mix, I think I'll start with this Fern Green. That's a pretty close match to the original color. And mix it with some, that's an off-white pastel white. And maybe some blue. But before I attack the car, I make myself some sort of a color chart. Start from there, just thin down that it's go through an airbrush. And then mix in white until I get a color that I'm satisfied with before I go and brush it on the car itself. So it's quite a time-consuming and tedious process, but yeah, I'm shooting for an overall appearance like Gary Christensen's work is fantastic. Lance Mindheim has done some great work.
Yeah, Gary Christensen does some amazing work, high fidelity. Actually, a couple of techniques that I'm going to be using to try and do the fade on those things myself. One is it's not the most permanent, and it's actually, I don't know if it's a proper way to do it. If you dull coat the car and then put isopropyl alcohol on it, that'll make the dull coat turn whitish. Now, I don't know if that'll actually affect the green as much as just look like it's got a calcium scale on top. But also, I've also heard people making a acrylic wash, 1 part acrylic white with like 10 parts water or more, you know, a real wash, and you put that on top of a dull coat so that when you put it on, you can really, if it's too much, you can try to take it off without affecting the layers underneath it.
Yeah, but I must say this car is molded in green plastic. So taking off those logos with the air eraser doesn't damage paint underneath because there is no paint. It's green plastic.
Yeah, so that's to your benefit.
Yeah, so that method works on colored plastic, but definitely not on painted boxcars with added decals on top.
Yeah, I just
those I would either use very fine sandpaper, somewhat 1200 grit, 1600 grit, wet sandpaper, and then sand it off.
Yeah, I'm just looking for. You never know what's on the model itself. You know, sometimes it's like I use solvent on one car that was molded in colored plastic like yours, and I had no problem with it. But then I took my solvent-based dull coat and put it on my Soline car, and you can see right here it just destroyed the lettering. So I have to come back and kind of work that in somehow and then start over again. You got to really worry about what is on these cars, because sometimes, like you said, the green paint is actual green paint.
Yeah, the nice thing about boxcars is you can pull them apart, get the roof off, and take a look inside. The inside will tell you if it's painted or molded in that color.
Good point. Good point. So
and other than that, try it on the underside, somewhere at the bottom where you can hide it.
Yeah. Hi, Peter.
Good morning, Ron. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Awesome work as always. I've got Sunday mornings blocked out to tune in from now until 2020. So
right on. My contract's good till then.
Good.
Awesome. So I see you're down in the workshop too.
I am. Yeah, I live in Las Vegas, and unfortunately we don't have basements out here, so my wife has cast me out into the garage, so this is my man cave.
It's a good spot to be if you've got air.
That's right.
I seen that you built a grain facility module recently. That was a real nice model there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're there isn't. I moved here from Massachusetts, and back east there was a seemed like there was a model railroad club on every corner. And out here in Las Vegas, it's all RC cars and planes and very little railroads. So I created these flyers and at the different railroad shops and found 2 or 3 people that were interested in starting a group. So we've started a modular Fremo group out here, and we're coming along. We're only a few of us, but each of us are building a module, and we're hoping to be able to participate in some of the shows. Bring in here in the new.
Cool. I know that Tom Barbalet used to live in the Vegas area. I wonder if you tried to get on his show, maybe talked about your stuff, maybe some of his audience who live in the Vegas area would be able to connect with you.
That's a good idea. I haven't reached out to him. Ironically, do you know Jimmy Simmons from Monster Model Works?
I know who he is, yes.
His dad lives out here, and yesterday I got an invitation. I went out to an open house that his dad had, and there's a group of about maybe 6 or 7 guys that kind of wrote underground. So I found them by accident. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, that's a great idea. I should reach out to Tom and see if he's got any old friends out here.
Yeah, he's got a great show, and the audience that he has are mostly pretty tight model railroads. Everybody, this is Steve Hoffmeister. We talked on Facebook, and he's a modeler. He wanted to do his own show, so I figured, why don't you come on this show, and we'll do all the screw-ups so that when you do your own show, you can, we'll help you. We'll promote you into the whole thing. We'll have fun with it. It's just, it's not about our show. We'll help anybody start their own show. And if you can help us to have a better quality show, sure, come on. So
it can be hard, make it worse.
I just hope I spent an hour talking about a Sierra West kit, and then I look on the chat, and Ron Kleiss is saying it's the Sawmill kit, and I'm like, oh no, it's not that kit. So Hoff, well, what kind of modeling do you do?
Oh, well, right now I haven't been doing too much of anything. I just got done tearing down my old bench and building a shelf-based deal. So everything's in chaos. So I have a model of a mess.
A model of a mess.
Yeah, you see it behind me, a pile of mess. Actual scale.
I model storage on top of my layout often.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things. I do end scale. Haven't gotten too much modeling done. I had pretty good progress with landscaping and whatnot on the layout I tore apart, but I just couldn't. The way I had it built, I couldn't get up on it anymore.
Oh, okay.
So. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get back in the swing and, Yeah.
I think a lot of people get stuck at that point where they're like, I've done a lot of work on this layout and I don't want to tear it out, but I don't have any inspiration in it, or it's not working for me. To turn around and pull that thing down and start over, you're actually, with a little bit of inspiration under your belt, you'll work like 10 men, So.
Oh yeah. I'm really happy with how things are coming together here on this second run, and hopefully have something worthwhile to show off here in a couple weeks once I get everything sorted back out.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing about going on a show like this too. It'll put a little fire under your butt.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, I'm looking for insight and input, and I don't have a lot of that around here where I'm at. I mean, there's tons of modelers. There's tons of railroaders. There's a big show that happens down here like every 3 months, but there's no direct connection. The local group I'm not really into too much. They're a little full of themselves. But
it's not always
I'm really
the
looking
easiest
forward.
thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to picking up the insight and hearing what everyone's got to share.
Yeah. I used to be a part of a club too, and you know, I didn't feel comfortable. A lot of people there, you know, really tried to make me feel comfortable, but you know, all it takes is a couple of bad apples to make you not feel. This is about inspiration, you know, and if the club doesn't provide that for you, it's not against them. It's just.
Oh, here. Well, we're talking about the club thing. Like you identified in the previous recordings, I'm a shy kind of guy too. I'm not one who's very good in the public spectrum, so that's my issue with the whole club aspect. So.
And this is nothing against clubs in general, because
oh
you know,
no, God no.
Yeah, clubs are really your first step to see what's possible in the hobby. You know, like nobody's gonna invite you into a private layout to see this built empire. You know,
Right.
to get into a club and to witness what the possibilities are, and sometimes a 40-foot square layout or something like that. That's really something to, you know, get under your skin and hook you into the hobby. So these clubs are really our first point of contact for the general public. So, you know, even if you're not part of the club, you should be supporting the club in some way.
Right. Well, I got my son in club, and he participates with them occasionally. They actually gave him a train and track and the whole deal, so they really bit him with the bug of the larger scales. But like I said, we do N scale here basically because there's no space.
Yes. Yeah, I can't do N scale.
It's just way too small.
Yeah, I haven't a hard enough
my
time
days when I
thinking.
say the same thing.
Like I've got this HO scale technique for painting, and it goes something like this. N scale, that doesn't work. That's a whole part.
Yeah.
So a couple things I wanted to say I've been thinking of this week. I did a couple of videos for the live broadcast last week, and after I got them finished, I figured out that it was way too much work what I was doing. So I think I'm going to redo that first video so that it's a highlights, cut down drastically to its length. So it's like about an hour long, and it's highlights of what happened in the 5.5 hours that was on last Sunday. Now I'm going to release that on its own channel so that... you know, a lot of people, there's people who don't like me, and that's okay. So I want to be able to get videos on a channel of its own branding, Modelers Guild, and then that stuff's just available in the full length, and all the marginal quality stuff. I don't know, the stuff that I don't care to show. Like I think this raw stuff is perfect. I watch raw stuff on Twit TV every day. Like, you know, I don't listen to the radio all the time. I, you know, watch these people produce video shows all day, and I learn from them. So yeah,
that was a great interview last week with him.
Yeah, thank you. I think I crossed a bridge there with him.
Yeah, and
hopefully crossed the bridge.
Yeah, we got to see a new dynamic of him. I've been watching his reviews for a long time, but that different context just showed a whole different side of him. I thought it was pretty cool.
You know, we're human, you know, and the worst part of doing the things that we do, like I can say we now because I got 150 plus videos on YouTube. is that there's people who don't like what you do because they want to do it themselves, maybe, or something, and they don't like, and they don't communicate to you properly, so you get a lot of bashing, you get a lot of people who talk really ignorantly, and it's usually behind closed doors and stuff like that. Well, after somebody says something like that to you, especially if you're like me, it destroys your day, like you get put into an awful mood, and then it's just a bad situation. So you find a lot of people like me and James Wright to be very defensive people, on the attack. And it's just, we want to do what we want to do with our lives in peace. And if you don't like it, just change the channel.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Basically. Ed, did you get your camera?
Yes, I did.
Do you like it?
Oh yeah, I love it. It's got one thing I really like beyond what we talked about is the fact that let me show you. Let me show me. Okay, it looks like the regular Nikon, right? But check this out. Well, if I can get around to where, look at that.
Oh, that's neat.
So you can be like down at low level, and so you can be like, damn, how you turn this thing around?
I know exactly what issue that fixes.
So like you're like this. You're taking a picture at low level, and you can look down.
Yeah.
Well, turn around. Well, yeah, got to turn it around so so if I turn it on, let me show you.
Yeah, that's really good to stop from the up the nose shot.
There, see? So you can have it, yeah, so I can be up above you and flip it around the other way, like that.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, at track level, and you're actually looking at it from like this. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's a good application.
Yeah, I like that. And of course, I use the Helicon remote. Oh, that's nice. So I did a stacked photo, and it did 30 pictures or 40 pictures or whatever it is. It comes up.
Does it have bracketing?
I think so. Oh, you mean the camera?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Cool. Okay, so I'm opening up the floor. I heard my wife just got home, so I should put some blocks on the door or something. Maybe lock it. Sign that says, no women allowed. Sorry, Ulrich. Sorry, Ulrich.
No girls. GURL.
Yeah. They'll understand completely. I'll be right back. About 10.
I think that's supposed to mean 10 minutes.
10 minutes, 10 seconds.
Whatever.
I was
Let
telling.
the party begin.
I was telling last night. I was talking to Peter there in the red shirt, and I went through an entire. Well, I told Spin this, but I went through an entire in the Hangout, and I went from ShapeWay from SketchUp went through all the process of fixing the file, uploading the shape weights, putting it in the store. And he says, that's some good information. And I go, yeah, I should have recorded this stupid thing. Yeah. Because it's... But I did test this morning, as I told Ron, and I did successfully upload a Hangout Live to my YouTube, whatever it is. Of course, I forgot to plug in the microphone, the headphones, so I was going like that, but you know, it still worked.
That was great information, though, Ed. That's your fluency on SketchUp just boggles my mind.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I've been doing it like everything else. I've done screwed up so many times and had to fix the screw ups. I mean, that's the only way to get proficient, right? Really?
Yep.
I was talking to him, and he just getting started. He didn't understand. He was trying to show the dimensions on his he downloaded a model from
Thingiverse?
it was 3D Warehouse. It's and he says, like, where are the dimensions? I said, you add them. And it's just that little stumbling block when you're trying to learn something. And it's like, when you finally see what you're talking about, you go, oh, okay.
So when you say add a measurement, you're saying add one measurement and all the other measurements will come in a proportion?
No.
That sounds hard then.
No.
You
Or
see
I
this
could,
building?
I could actually show you in SketchUp too. What?
You see this building?
If I click on you 1 second to make it larger, that's the
Boston Bookstore.
yeah.
I've
Okay.
always wanted to make a kit of this.
Okay.
Always wanted to do it. I've got pilot models. I've got 4 pilot models of this, and they're all... I can't get the measurements, and I'm not from Boston, so I can't go and put a tape measure to it.
Sure you can. You can do it in SketchUp.
Well, this is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah,
Can I use this
think-
photo even if it's on an angle?
Well, 1 second. Let me. Okay, I got my screen sheet. Okay, I'm gonna see. How do I do this? Share the link to that Shorpy photo.
Okay. Through the chat?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll just show you how to do it. How's that?
Sure. Oh, I see a whole bunch of people have been chatting here, and I never noticed any of it. Let me catch up here.
You need a chat checker.
I need another monitor. I need a couple of monitors up on the wall.
Oh, you don't have but one? Oh my!
All I got is a laptop.
How come? That's right. You probably blew up your other one.
I spend all my money on model trains.
Okay. No, but if you share that, well, I could find it myself, but
I put it in the chat.
oh, I'm sorry, I'm not chat checking.
You need one too. See, another monitor.
No, I was looking at you, sir.
They all are.
Okay.
They all are.
Okay. First of all,
Just kidding. Well, you know what? Let's plan to do this next week. Okay, so that's another show in the can. I just would like to say, if you're not one of the He-Man Haters Club and you like what you see on this second episode of the Model Railroads and Structures show, that you maybe please consider chipping in $1 towards each video. The videos that are being charged for are the Raw shows on Sunday. They're not for the produced show. It's kind of an encouragement and for me to do something that is really kind of embarrassing for me. Like, I'm not comfortable, you know. I know 90% of you guys out there would just you crumble on camera, and that's the way I feel every time I get on camera. I feel like, oh man, I'm putting myself out there, and to tell you the truth, I'm constantly getting trolled by people who think that they're much better than me, and I just really wish they'd do their own show. So if you want to send a message to my haters club, do it through Patreon. The only way to show them that you want to see this stuff is to be a patron of this show. Thank you. I really appreciate you being here, especially at the end of the video. It's a long video, and I understand that we all have, you know. So thank you. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. I asked the question during the show, should this show go on its own channel, fully branded? I think that, you know, it might be a way for me to bridge the gap between people who like me and people who don't like me. I don't know if that's really an issue I should care about or spend any time trying to fix. Some people are just never going to like you. Anyways, the only way to show these people that you're a fan of this show and to really stick it to them is to chip in $1. You know, you could chip in $2, you could chip in $10 a show. There's 4 each month, so whatever you want to chip in is fine with me, even if you just take it for free. Comment on the shows, share the shows, like the shows, dislike the shows. I can't block you from disliking the shows. So everybody who's been blocked in the last 2 weeks, I think there's been 6 of you, you can still dislike the show. Go for it. If that's all you got, it's all you got. It's not baseball. It's not like I'm going to give you 3 strikes. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked today's show. Next week, we're going to have Edward Traxler showing us how to completely design a model. We're going to start from a photograph. We're going to use SketchUp. We're going to take that photograph, turn it into a model, and then we're also going to do a whole other tutorial that starts with a GIF. Yeah, it's a GIF because it's a graphic. Yeah, the first word is graphic, so it is GIF. There's no controversy here. GIF is for people who just don't want to conform. So from a GIF, we got the picture of a profile of a tire. Edward Traxler completely designs this tire in free SketchUp using a couple of other add-ons. We process the model, we fix it up, we make it efficient and bring the size down, the tolerances down so it'll work in Shapeways. And then he uploads it and tells us how much it would cost. It's a long video, but it's real fun and very informative. So if you're interested in moving in on this new rapid prototyping movement, then watch this show. We've got the stuff for you. We're not going to sit there and talk about something where you have to dream about it. You're going to see it on the show. So thank you to the 4 Patreons we have already. You guys are really, you make me feel like $1,000,000. Thank you. Have a great day. See you next week.